So it's crazy to me how a lot of businesses completely butcher their call funnel applications. And then they wonder why their cost per call is high and why their book rate is low. A lot of them literally have like 10 plus questions trying to qualify what you could do in 3 to 5 questions max. And on top of that, a lot of them don't even have any explanations for the sensitive questions like how much revenue are you generating right now. So I'm going to show you how to fix this, because your applications are simple but high leverage steps in your funnel that if you really dial it in, you can cut your cost per call in half and you can double the amount of calls that you book with the same ad spend. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your Typeform applications for the maximum amount of calls booked. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Brilliance. Welcome in. We've built funnels for some of the biggest names in the online business space like Blake Rocha, Shelby Saab, Neural Knowledge, Daniel Fazio, Simone Bees. I could go on. And we've done well over $20 million directly through a funnel. So let's dive in.
To set up your Typeform to book the maximum amount of calls, I'm not sitting down here saying you're going to book 2x more calls like I've written down here. I'm using this to really show you the power of how your application can affect your cost per call and the amount of calls that you have booked on the calendar. Okay, because a lot of people add too much friction or too little friction. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it the best way possible to make sure that you're booking the maximum amount of calls that you possibly can. Okay, so first one is start with a yes or no question. So it could be, are you currently running ads? Do you have a YouTube channel? Are you a coach or consultant? Are you this or that? So this is simply going to filter for the leads that you want and don't want. So this is going to be an immediate qualifier, disqualifier. So those who answer no are immediately disqualified and they don't continue throughout the form. So that way you're protecting the integrity of your data that you're sending back to Meta as well. So start with yes or no questions. Think about your prospects. What is the simplest way that you can qualify them and you use that as the first question? This is going to be a quick win as well because people don't want to sit down there first off like typing their name and trying to do that. But when they click yes or no, it gives them like a quick win and gets them going through the form. It's really simple. Yes or no question. The next is going to be to contact info. So name, email, phone number, etc. And what we see, the mistake that we see a lot of people make is in Typeform, there's this contact info component that people use. But the problem is that when you use that, you're really going to add a lot of friction because people need to scroll on the Typeform. I'm probably going to throw up a visual or not, but if you use Typeform, you know what I'm talking about. You have that name, email, phone number, company, blah, 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 your company URL, and people have to scroll. So what we see that works best is we just add in like a separate field for the name, the email, and the phone, and we collect it, and it works really well. Because if people have to scroll for them to like add in their name and then add in their phone number and then add in their email and then add in their last name and add it, like it just adds in a lot of friction that causes a lot of people to drop off. So collect the contact info, but don't collect it in the same tab. Just separate it across like multiple steps, like 3 different steps. And that's going to drastically reduce the friction that people encounter when they're on the normal contact info tab. The next is going to be your qualifying question. Now, this could be your revenue, could be ad spend, it could be how much cash you have allocated, etc. Just keep it simple to understand too. And another thing is like, give them a reason to answer the question. For example, we ask this so we can pair you with the offer that makes the most sense for you. We ask this so we can assess how much you could potentially generate using XYZ system. This makes it easier for them to answer the question because a lot of people don't want to tell you what the revenue is. Personally, I don't tell people what my revenue is. So when you tell them that, it makes it easy for them to answer the question because now they see, okay, he's not just asking me the question just so he could charge me more. He's asking me so he can pair me with the right type of offer. So that's how you need to be thinking about this. Again, keep this very simple. Just have a couple options there. Don't have too many options. Maybe have like 5 or 6 maximum. I like to keep it at 5. So make that very easy. Maybe, less than 100K, 100 to 500K, 500K to $1 million. Depending on what you're selling, usually B2B, that's how we do it. And it's going to make it easy for you to qualify them. And the next question you have here is going to be your honeypot question. So this is a question that only your disqualified leads are going to see. So people who are disqualified from this section, let's say your disqualification metric is less than someone who makes less than 30K, for example. So only someone who makes less than 30K is going to see this honeypot question, right? So this question is going to be something along the lines of our system costs, between X to Y, given that we're fit and the ROI makes sense for your business, is this a comfortable investment for you? If they say yes, they're booking a call, but you still send them to the disqualified confirmation page, which I'm going to explain in a second. And if they say no, then they exit the form. Remember, you're only showing this to your disqualified leads. And the goal is to understand if they have any purchase intent whatsoever. That is the only goal. The goal is not to send them to the Pixel confirmation page. That's not the goal. It's just to show them this and see if they have any intent whatsoever. Usually, if they have no intent, they're going to be like, no, this is not my primary constraints. And then they exit the form, they get fucked. Okay. Now, the next is going to be your booking. A mistake that I see a lot of people do is they redirect prospects to Calendly or any booking tool. Now, I've seen cases where clients are going to be like, okay, like I think it's better for us to redirect them to the form, blah, blah, blah. But what we've seen across majority of accounts and funnels is that just embedding the Calendly directly into your Typeform works better every single time. Now, are there edge cases where maybe redirecting them, like it just doesn't make logical sense because it's, number one, there's load time. Number two, you're going to another like platform entirely. Like you're going to like, you have to open another tab. You have to like load the page. So it really makes no sense when you think about it to redirect people to a different page. Just embed that directly into your Typeform, and there's a direct integration for Calendly inside of Typeform. So why stress? Okay, so just use that as the last step of the form. And again, to reduce the friction, just pre-fill the contact info. Your booking is going to be frictionless. Pre-fill the name, the email, the phone number. So literally they don't have to fill in anything. All they have to click is book. So, and remember, when you're setting up your Calendly for your Typeform, just make sure that it's the simplest thing ever, because you've collected all of the information in your Typeform already. So this should just be your name, phone number, email, and that's it. Don't ask, hey, okay, what else information do we need to prepare better for this call? No, you can get that information when you text them, right? You should be doing a lot of manual outreach yourself as well if you want to get people to show up. Someone putting in what reasons they need to show up is not going to do anything for you really, right? So, and this is how you get 75% to 100% booking rates. On our funnels, you usually get about 100% booking rates a lot of times. But if you're looking at the low end, around like 60-70%, right? So, and then the next is going to be your pixel conditioning. Only your qualified prospects should hit the pixeled confirmation page. And what I mean by pixeled is the page where you install something called a pixel from Meta that is used to send data back to them. So, and what this does is for every single person who hits the pixel, Meta signals, like this signals to the Meta algorithm that this person is qualified, so let's look for more of that kind of person. So, but if you're letting the unqualified leads hit your pixel confirmation page, then you're going to be muddying your data, and that's not what you want, because you want your data to be clean. So over time, this compounds. If you keep sending, okay, qualified, non-qualified, Meta doesn't know what to look for, because Meta has data points, about 50,000 plus data points on every single person on their platform. So when you're sending one type of person, you're like, okay, this person has this characteristics on their data points, this person has this character, so let's look for more of those types of people, right? But then when you're sending like people with like different types of characteristics, then you're going to make it difficult for them to look for those types of people. Because what happens really is, let's say when you start booking calls, you get someone who makes 500K a month, and then you see the next person who books in a call is 500K a month, the next person who books in a call is 500K a month, and it really happens like that's because Meta is using it works based on recency. So you always keep that in mind. Your non-qualified prospect should hit, the confirmation page without the pixel. So you always send the right data back to Meta. You lower your cost per call. You also increase the amount of revenue that you can collect on calls as well, because you're booking higher quality calls with prospects that have high intent. And again, this is very simple, super straightforward video. I just wanted to run you guys through that. And if you guys have any questions about this, just drop it in the comments. And if you need help building out your paid ads funnel or your landing page whatsoever for organic or paid, just click the link in the description, booking a call with me, and I'll see if and how we can help you. I hope you found value for this video. Take care. Cheers.